Hey, in lesson 6-9, guys, our main focus here is to try to solve equations with inverse operations, kind of the traditional way to do it. But we're going to look at some word problems where we kind of have to do the whole process. And this is kind of the main part of algebra we want to get to, that we can solve a word problem using these algebra things we've been working on. So we're going to have to define a variable and represent each story with an equation. Try and get it to what is happening here and get that into an equation and then be able to solve that. Okay, so in this case, Camilla went on a 60-mile bike ride. After riding 4 hours, she stopped and checked her map. She saw that she had 8 miles remaining on her trip. What was Camilla's speed in miles per hour? So we're trying to find her speed in miles per hour. So we can look and solve this problem in some different ways. A lot of you probably reading this thought, if it's a 60-mile trip and they only had 8 miles left, that means she's already ridden 52, okay, because 60 minus 8 is 52. Again, so we know she's gone 52 miles. So that is, that thinking if you're already solving it, all right? You're kind of undoing the things to solve them here. So the variable, what I don't know is, I want to know her speed in miles per hour. So I could say m equals her miles per hour. There's our variable. That's what we're trying to find. It's what we're missing. How many miles per hour is she traveling? Again, some people start to solve, so they struggle to write the equation. Really what's going on, though, I've got 4 hours times how many miles per hour they're going. So 4 times m, they're miles per hour. How many they go in 1 hour? I know I have to do that 4 times because she's been riding 4 hours. And then plus 8 more miles on top of that should get me to that total of 60 miles. All right, so if I figure how many miles she went in 1 hour, miles per hour, do that 4 times plus 8, that'll give me your total of 60 miles. All right, so our goal here, and I'm going to write this over here, is to solve using inverse operations. And we've learned that if I add 8, we always undo the adding and subtracting first. I must subtract 8 to get rid of that, and that's like it never happened. If I add 8 and subtract 8, I'm only left with 4m over here. And if I take away 8 on this side, it's like a pan balance. I must take away 8 on this side. And 60 minus 8 equals 52. And then we know that if we've multiplied something times 4 to undo that, we can divide by 4. So I must divide the other side by 4. And so in this case, 4 divided by 4 leaves me 1, or 1 times m is just m. And if I do 52 divided by 4, I'll get 13. So I know m, my miles per hour, we're traveling 13 miles per hour, would be my solution. That's what I'm missing. I go 13 miles every hour. If I plug that back in, remember, this is my check step. I'm going to do it up here. I plug it in, 13 miles per hour every hour. If I do that 4 times, I know that's 52 plus the 8 extra miles I go. That does equal 60. So I plugged it in and checked it. Again, you shouldn't miss it if you plug it into that equation. Some people I know, yesterday I saw when we're doing these things, you easily figured out that they went 52 miles just by taking 60 minus 8. They had gone in 4 hours. They had gone 52 miles. Again, so you could almost just solve this with a ratio too, and you need to get it down to miles per 1 hour. So I could just divide by 4 here and divide by 4, and that gets me for 1 hour. 52 divided by 4 is 13 miles. So again, that's that ratio thinking. Algebra is a lot of that ratio thinking. Some of you could have set it up like this and done it maybe without the variable in the full equation, just by using your common sense and doing some subtracting and starting to undo things and solve them already. So again, the algebra, if you're going to define a variable and get the equation, this is the way the equation would look. And once you get your answer, don't forget to check it in and make sure that it works. Okay? So make sure you get this written down. I'll pause it if we need to before we turn it over and look at the other one. So same situation here. We're going to go ahead and look at another problem and try and get it into an equation. So in this case, Aisha is saving money to buy a gift that costs $60, and she begins by placing $12 in a piggy bank. Each week she's going to place another $8 in her piggy bank. So how many more weeks will it take her to save the money she needs to buy? So we're missing, guys, the weeks. Okay, again, what we're missing, we're looking for. So let's just call W the number of weeks, or the weeks that's going to take her save the money. How many weeks is she going to have to save to have enough money to get that gift? So the equation, if I'm putting this in a situation here, I know she started with putting $12 in her piggy bank. Okay, so she's taking $12 and she's adding $8 a week. So I could say that's $8 times each week. That's multiplying, right? $8 times each week plus the $12 that she has already saved, and I got to get that to equal $60. So there's that tough part of sometimes getting this into an equation to represent what's going on. But there's the $12 in the piggy bank plus $8 each week until she gets to $60. So again, I'm going to rewrite it over here so we can solve, and I'm actually going to flip. I use my commutative property. 8w plus 12 has to equal 60. And I just like doing that because if I add 12, I know I subtract 12 to undo that, and then that becomes nothing, right? And so I'm left with 8w equals, and if I take 12 away from here, I got to take 12 away from here to keep it balanced, just like the pan balance. So 8 times w should equal 48. So a lot of you can do this mentally. 8 times what gets me to 48? We know that w is going to be 6, but if we didn't know that, we know we undo it by dividing. If I take w times 8, if I divide by 8, it's like it didn't happen, and I'm left with w, and I divide 8 over here, and 48 divided by 8 is 6. So solution is going to take them 6 weeks of saving, or take her 6 weeks, and if I plug that in to check, w equals 6, 8 times 6 is 48, plus 12 is 60, so you know it's going to take her 6 weeks to save enough money to be able to buy that gift.